The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
Okay, let's go.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Sorry again for getting this out a little late yesterday. Ended up having a small little impromptu birthday party for my lovely mother, who celebrated her 29th birthday on Friday, December 15th. And I'm not going to lie, I ended up being completely exhausted. Whipping a party together in a day, it was very impromptu due to another situation. And this is funny though. Literally, well, I did go to Costco, but then besides going to Costco to get a few things, I was pretty much walking around my house yesterday. And in that process of moving around my house, doing things and catering to my mom's friends, I ended up moving 15,508 steps. That was 6.8 miles. Let's say you take away 1,000 steps for Costco. I probably walked around my house almost 6 miles yesterday. That's pretty funny. Anyway, okay, listen, today, super tight episode because I'm saving up for the balance of the week. So what I'm going to cover today is intermittent fasting. I know I still need to talk about gut health, which I'm going to. I'm waiting on a couple more things there. And actually, I'm interviewing a gastroenterologist that I wanted to get his opinion on a few different things. And so today I want to talk about intermittent fasting. It's going to be very clear and concise. And, well, you know what? I'm going to start off by giving you my opinion. And to be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of it. I'm just not. I've tried every combination, and we're going to go through the combinations. And even though I am not that big of a fan of it, and honestly, I can't say I experienced any weight loss myself on it, I do think it's something worth trying because I also truly believe that everybody is different and everybody reacts differently to things. Now, I will say the concept of fasting definitely does work and does lead to weight loss. And I'll give you a crazy example. So I got COVID in July of 2021. Yes, July of 2021. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And it was pretty brutal. My COVID experience, I think I talked about it in a previous episode, but it definitely kicked my butt. And it lasted about overall maybe 10 days for me. Probably 3 of those days were the worst, where I really didn't eat anything. I just kind of had Gatorade. And I will say the entire COVID process, I ended up losing 15 pounds, which is crazy. So, you know, that to me was a not self-imposed, but it was a intermittent fasting gone rogue, where I really wasn't intending on doing it, but because I really didn't have an appetite and couldn't eat and was so fatigued from the COVID, like I said, I ended up losing 15 pounds. And, you know, that's intermittent fasting. I mean, that really was. Now, obviously, I ended up gaining that weight back for the most part. Actually, I gained all of that weight back, and then I've lost some of it again. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It just hasn't worked for me, but I do recommend trying it. You know, I truly recommend, when it comes to health and weight loss, trying everything. Actually, you've got to figure out what works for you and what works for your body. I have had friends do intermittent fasting and they swear by it and they have lost weight and they've been able to sustain it. Where at the same time, I've had friends similar to myself where it hasn't, you know, given a result like that. But let's start about talking about, you know, basically what it is. And for simplicity's sake, it's eating in certain windows of time. Okay. So the most popular one to start out with, they call it the 16-8. And that first number, 16, that's always the number that you fast. So basically it's saying fast for 16 hours, eat for 8. Now, the common methodology on that is to skip breakfast, okay? And then basically you've got that 8-hour window to eat. And so a lot of people will do that from, let's say, 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. I personally would do 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sometimes I would do 12 p.m. or 12 noon to 8 p.m. if I knew I had, let's say, a work dinner or something like that. And for me, that was mainly because I'm having, my delicious coffee in the morning, which I love coffee. And by the way, I think coffee is healthy for you. I'll do an episode on caffeine. It is a good stimulant for your metabolism. So personally, I don't have any issues with coffee. But I would do that 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I did it for 3 weeks. Honestly, I did not see any real improvement in any facet. Weight loss, they talk about clarity of the mind. You think clearer. You're supposed to sleep better. I didn't see anything. So then I ratcheted it up to 18:6. So basically, I started fasting for 18 hours a day and then eating for 6. And then this was, again, I kept the same 11 a.m. start time, but then I'd shave 2 hours off the dinner time. So really, that's starting at 11 a.m., stopping at 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. Or starting at 12 noon and then stopping eating at 6 p.m. That one I found, I don't know why, but I did the 12 p.m. to 6 more than I did the 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. because, gosh, I felt like the Costanza's finishing dinner at 4 o'clock. It's the early bird special down at Del Boca Vista or something. I was like, I can't stop eating at 5. This is crazy. So I would do 12 to 6 p.m. Again, I didn't experience much. I really didn't. I can't say I lost any weight doing that. I did that for 2 weeks. Now again, actually that one I did right. So I went from 16.8 straight to 18.6. So at that point, I had been fasting for 5 weeks. But again, I didn't really experience anything there. I took a break for a little bit. I just kind of got back onto whatever regular routine of really eating when I wanted to, eating when I was hungry, and then I started it back up again. So this time I went all in.
All right, are you ready to eat? All right, let's go. Jerry, let's go. It's time to eat. We're going to dinner.
Dinner? Well, what time is it?
It's 4:30.
4:30? Who eats dinner at 4:30?
I mean, I absolutely went all in, and I did the 20:4. So 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating. And this one was definitely hard. I didn't find the first two hard at all. I really did not. I did not even find them challenging. But the 24, that one was, I would start eating at noon and I would stop eating at 4 p.m. So that answers Jerry Seinfeld's question of who eats dinner at 4:30. Ray D was eating dinner at 4, actually. So yeah, I did the 20 fasting for, like I said, that one was difficult. That one was definitely challenging. And it's mainly because, that's a lot of time. If you finish eating at 4 p.m. or 4:30, let's say, you've got another 6 hours if you go to bed at 10:30. I mean, I try to go to bed around 10, to be honest with you, but that's a lot of time. And so if you are not really kind of active or doing something, you sometimes you tend to snack. You really do. You tend to grab something, sometimes out of boredom, sometimes out of whatever. And so I did find that 24 pretty challenging, but I did it. I did it for almost 15 days. And again, I did not see any real weight loss. So for me, when I really didn't see something along that weight loss, when I did the 24, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to rethink all this. And, maybe this just doesn't work for my body. Now, I will say the other difference in that 24 intermittent fasting definitely versus the 16.8. Like I said, I didn't find the 16.8 challenging at all. The 18.6 I really didn't even find challenging. In the 24, I did find myself, I don't know if I'd say I was overeating, but when you've got those 4 hours, you kind of cram everything into those 4 hours. And, well, you have to cram everything into those 4 hours. But I think I ended up having bigger portions during those 4 hours because you would eat more. And then the other part of intermittent fasting that they say is, you get to eat what you want. And so I did find myself kind of making some worse decisions when it comes to what I was eating. I would eat a little bit more junk food. I'd have Mrs. Vic's chips a little more often because, again, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm only eating for 4 hours, heck, I get to eat what I want. So, I think that's a little counterproductive, that mentality. A lot of people will put a lot of butter into their coffee, and I'm going to play a clip from my doctor here in a second that talks about that. But I found myself making not as good of decisions when I did that ratcheted 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating. And again, for me personally, this is just me personally, it did not really benefit my sleep. It did not really, I didn't find myself razor sharp or any different. I think I'm razor sharp most of the time, but I really didn't see any type of improvement cognitively either on that. So anyway, that's it for today. That's really my experience with intermittent fasting. It is something I did want to share. I would absolutely love it if anyone that is listening has their own experience with intermittent fasting, and please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on the social networks at Reduce Star or Deep Shallow Dive at Deep Shallow Dive everywhere. We also have Deep Shallow Dive at gmail.com. And then you can also go to the website, deepshallowdive.com. There's multiple contact us ways, and on mobile, you can actually see there's an email icon at the bottom if you're looking at deepshallowdive.com on your phone, and you'll very easily be able to send us an email there. But I would love anyone's experience when it comes to intermittent fasting, whether you got results or did not get results. I think that'd be cool. Maybe if I get enough of those, I can share all those in a subsequent episode. But anyway, hopefully, if nothing else, today kind of gave you some perspective on intermittent fasting. Again, I truly do think that everybody and every space body is different. So something that might work for somebody might not work for somebody else. So I do not want anyone to be discouraged at the fact that it didn't work for me. Maybe it just doesn't work for my metabolism, but maybe it'll work for you. And at the end of the day, when it comes to weight loss, and when it comes to really your health, my main goal is to find solutions that are sustainable, truly solutions that are sustainable. I'm not into the quick fixes when it comes to stuff. I'm looking for solutions that can be sustainable throughout really the rest of your lifetime. And some of the things we talked about in episodes 70 and 71 for me accomplish those goals. Portion control for me, that's the key. I have absolutely realized that the key for my personal body and maintaining the weight or getting to the weight that I like to have for myself, it's all about portion control. And for example, I did not exert that portion control yesterday at my little get together with my mom, and it showed on the scale this morning. It absolutely showed on the scale this morning. So let's see if over the next couple days I can get that couple pounds off. And it was a couple pounds difference. I'm not even kidding. So anyway, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And we've got some good episodes coming this week with some more learning and our eternal search for not sunshine, but eternal search for the truth. All right, talk to you later. Have a great day. Call a spade a spade.
This episode was brought to you by Boost Liquid Vitamins. Wake up, take your Boost, start your day. Drink your vitamins, build your immune system with Boost. Available on Boost.com.